James, take it back to the summer. 20 years at Southampton. How much of a wrench was it to leave?
Yeah, it was difficult. Wasn't an easy decision for me. This was not only a football club to me, but a family, a place that I grew up not only as a footballer but as a person. They put a lot of faith and trust in me to go out and fulfil my potential and to break into the first team. And of course, I'll always be forever grateful to the club for giving me the opportunity to fulfil my dream. And yeah, leaving was difficult, but I left there knowing that I gave everything that I could for the club, and it's time for a new challenge.
So when the time did come to leave, why West Ham? What was the appeal?
I think there are a lot of factors, leading into that decision. I think West Ham's a fantastic club to join. From the outside looking in last year, okay, they didn't have a particularly positive domestic campaign, but obviously the European triumph and to be coming here and to play that European football was a huge factor. And obviously speaking to the manager in depth as well was a real sort of key factor in joining the club. And yeah, I've loved every minute so far.
What did David Moyes say? What were those first conversations like?
Yeah, very positive. He spoke a lot at length about what he liked about my game and what he felt like I could bring to the team with the goals and the assists that I've managed to get over the last few years, and obviously around the leadership role that he thought I could be bringing towards the team. Obviously being captain at Southampton, that's a big quality of mine, and I like the sort of leadership role as such. And I tried to be a leader even though I'm not wearing the armband officially. I think that's a real sort of powerful form of leadership.
That leadership role, was that something you felt was important for David Moyes? That was one of the reasons that he wanted you at the club?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously losing Declan was a big loss for the club, and obviously Mark Noble previously. So I think they lost a couple of leaders in that sense, and I think he was keen to build a sort of a leadership group and a structure within the group. So yeah, I think to be part of that's really special. But like I said, it doesn't matter whether you're wearing the armband or not. There's multiple captains within that team, I believe, and you hear a lot of voices throughout the week and throughout the game. So yeah, it's a really nice group to be part of.
Going back to the move, this might be the first time that you've had to move house in your life. What's that side of it like?
Yeah, something I'm getting to grips with. But yeah, I think the player care team at the club have been fantastic in helping me and sort of guiding me on my way. And yeah, I'm very lucky to have a fantastic wife and children behind me, supporting me. So they've fitted in really well with everything.
For those of us that don't know, when you do have to uproot your life and move through a transfer, what are the sort of difficulties, challenges? What do you have to go through to make that move?
A lot of things really. I think it's different when you have a big family. I think that obviously is probably the most difficult part, to be away from children and for them to sort of not really understand it yet properly. But if I give my son a new football kit, he'll be happy with that and soon forget the problems of daddy leaving the house. But no, I think there's lots of things, but the club, everybody at the club's been fantastic in allowing me to feel welcome, and it feels like I've been here for years, and I think that's a really good sign.
What have you made of London itself as a city? Much bigger than Southampton, of course. Very different, I'd imagine, as well.
Yeah, very different to down south. I remember first coming up here and where I was staying, you could overlook London, and I think that was a real big realisation of, wow, this is totally different to what I'd experienced before. But great to be out of my comfort zone and look forward to a totally new challenge.
What are the differences in that the lifestyle, I guess, from where you were before to now living in the capital city?
No, not too much. I'm very sort of quiet in that sense. I'm not going out on the town every night and enjoying that side of it. I'm a simple guy at heart, really, and yeah, it's not really changed apart from the surroundings. So no, I'm enjoying it. Like I said, to be out of my comfort zone, I think that's when you find out about yourself, and I think you see the best results. And I've certainly felt that in the first period of being at the club.
I was going to say, it seems like you've settled in so well. Almost from minute one of game one, you feel like you've really made a difference. Is that the reason, do you think, because you've settled so well?
Yeah, I think a lot of things, there was a lot of frustration and disappointment towards the end of last season, and to break out from that and to be in a new, fresh environment was key. And obviously coming here, I knew Danny Ings in particular, who was a really good friend of mine at Southampton, and all of the players, the kitchen staff, media guys, player care team, everyone. I can't think of everyone right now, but they've all made me feel incredibly welcome. And like I said, it feels like I've been here for 5 years already, and I think that's a good sign that it's a right fit and a right feeling for the club.
In terms of your role on the pitch, how do you feel like you've kind of settled into that midfield?
Yeah, really well. I think it's a really talented group to join. It's a fantastic way to play, different to what I've played before, and I feel as though I've fitted in really well. We've all got different qualities, and the manager's trying to find the best way to implement all of our qualities in certain moments of games.
Talking of different qualities, I know you talk a lot about the dead ball stuff, but I was reading an interview with Vladimir Sofal who compared you to Andrea Pirlo and Juninho Pernambucano. That's not bad company to be in.
I saw that. Yeah, I've not actually spoke to him about that, but yeah, I'll take the compliments. I think it's nice to obviously have people say stuff like that, but especially teammates who you play week in, week out with. So I thank Vladdy for that.
Anytime he is making moves around the dead ball, you remind him, yeah?
Yeah, I'll tell him.
In terms of this season, you mentioned last year that the domestic form suffered a little bit, and despite what happened in Europe. Why do you think it might be different this year?
I think when you have a period of success like the club did last year with the European trophy, you feel an expectation and almost like another step to go. And I think it was a really good building block for what I think will be another successful season. Obviously losing Declan last year was difficult for the club, and the squad is a little bit bigger now this year, and there's more players to contribute towards the season. So hopefully with the European games and the Premier League games, the squad will be able to deal with that maybe. It's a fantastic challenge, and like I said, once you get that taste of success, you want to build on that and go for even more.
Does it feel like within the squad, when you guys are talking, that there is a lot of depth here? Because there's people like Mohamed Kudus hasn't really played too many minutes. He's still to come in.
Yeah, it's a fantastic group to be part of. Like you said, there's players you look around and think, oh, he's not playing, but he could be playing. It's that sort of squad, and I think that's really exciting to be part of. And the competition in training and the level of training is fantastic to be around, and you're always competing against each other to do better, to do more. So I think that's a real healthy feeling to have within the squad.
I could ask you about Mohamed Kudus. We've seen glimpses of him. Looks really exciting. What's he like to train with?
Yeah, horrible to play against. He's so tricky, so strong, so quick and direct, and really pleased for him to get his 2 goals in the first game, in the Europa League. But yeah, I think he's settling in really well, and I think he's got a lot of exciting things to offer this club.
Other sort of new midfielder, Edson Alvarez. You seem to have struck up quite a good partnership with him. He's another very experienced player. What's he been like to play alongside?
Yeah, brilliant to play with. You can tell that he's a proper footballer. He loves the ball, wants the ball all the time, and we struck up a really good relationship. I think there's a good element of trust there that we want to be sort of linking up well. It's an important part of the pitch. So whether it's with Edson or Thomas or Lucas at times. There's a lot of different sort of qualities we can all offer, and making sure that we're all on the right page.
Playing Europe again this week, you had a taste of it early in your Southampton career, 6 or 7 years ago. What does it mean to be back playing at the highest levels?
Yeah, it means everything. I think the last couple of years, I'd normally settle down with a cup of tea to watch these sort of games with my slippers on, and I remember thinking, I don't want to be doing this anymore. I want to be there. I want to be on the biggest stages. I want to be performing on the Europa League stage and beyond. So, to be here now, walking out rather than watching it on the TV is a good step, and one that I want to make sure I continue.
Like these atmospheres, do you feel them as much as the fans do? Do you feel them in your chest? How important? Do you get G'd up for these?
Yeah, you do. This is what it's all about. You want to look back on your career and not have any regrets, knowing that you did everything you could to be on those biggest stages, and look back and say, look, this is where we played, this is the game, and we're incredibly lucky to be doing what we're doing.
In terms of this season, long term, what are the hopes, expectations on West Ham, do you think?
We've not really spoke about that as a group, but I think within ourselves we all know that an improvement on the Premier League season is a must. I think this club is definitely a top 10 club. It's something that we should be looking to aim towards. And even though I wasn't here last year to experience a European success, I think that's something that everybody enjoyed and craves now going forward. So there's no reason why we can't make that step in the Europa League this year.
If you win Europa League, you're in the Champions League next year.
Yeah, no, I mean we won't be thinking too far ahead. You know, it's an incredibly tough competition with a lot of good teams, so we can only focus on the games ahead now, and what will be will be.
There's an England squad being named shortly. Could you have done much more to get your name on that list?
No, look, that's not my area to decide these sort of things. You know, as a player, you go out and make sure that you perform to a level that you believe that is good enough, and doing it regularly. I think that's important as well, and I feel as though I have done, but the decision's not mine, and yeah, I think what will be with that.
If the call was to come, though, what would it mean to be back playing for your country?
Yeah, it would be great. I think that's something that you always strive for in the back of your mind, even though you're concentrating on your club football. The international stuff's a huge part, and if that comes, great. But right now, I'm enjoying what I'm doing for West Ham and being here, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the games coming up.